YouTube, hello, and I know what you might be thinking. Is Brody crazy? I mean, just the other day, didn't he make a video defending the NHL referees? Yes, I did. And in fact, I was quite happy with the way it turned out. And now I'm here to make a video titled Good Sharks Math. This hasn't necessarily been a great season. Sometimes it hadn't even been a good season up till this point. And it hasn't been an easy season either. I do want to make note of that. Nothing that anybody is going through right now in a professional sporting environment is routine. It looks routine on television. By the way, check out the other video I did on the refs and check out another video that's on the channel from, I want to say earlier this week. It's the experience of what it's like to be at SAP Center for a Sharks game this year without fans. I'm telling you, we on television make it look a lot more normal than it actually is being there. And in terms of the playing environment, what it's like to be a player this year, I don't even have access to that, but I guarantee you nothing on their end is normal. So let me feed the haters right away here, because you're saying, well, are you a homer? Like, how are you going to spin this? I don't need to hear this. I can see the way this year's going. And I get it. Like, I get it. Okay. The Sharks team right now is on a 2-game win streak. And prior to this, their best haul of the season was 3 wins in a row from about a week and a half ago. So other than that, a 2-win streak, a 2-game win streak, and a 3-game win streak, and a couple single wins in a row. They haven't been able to sustain success. Clear and easy to see. Of their wins, they only have 8 in regulation, which puts them among the very bottom of the league, tied for 29th in regulation wins. Again, 8. Most of theirs have come in the shootout or in overtime, which says a different statement. It is still collecting the 2 points and winning in a different way. But regulation wins are the ones that in this season where it's all division games, those are the ones that they're gonna push over. So I get it. 8 regulation wins, 89 goals for, which puts them in the bottom third of the league, and 106 goals against, which also puts them in the bottom third of the league. Now, I point that out because it'd be one thing if you were a great offensive team and your defense just couldn't keep up or do its part, or vice versa. Your defense was great and your offense just didn't give your goalie the support. Sorry, you see what I'm saying here. If offense were great and defense weren't there, or if defense were there and offense weren't great. So it's neither, though, for the Sharks. They're in the bottom third of both categories. And here's another thing that's less discussed. I mean, we haven't even really got to this on television, but the Sharks are tied for third in penalty minutes per game on average, 9.4 per game. So that kind of indicates chasing the play a little bit, lack of discipline. Certainly, they're a good team on the penalty kill, but you just do not want to give the opposition, hypothetically, those 6, 8, 10 minutes per night that you're on the kill, and they're not. And then high danger chances against. 124 for San Jose here past the halfway point of their year. That's tied for 4th worst. And a 5-6-2 home record. This is a team that didn't get to play at home for the longest time. And actually, since they've been there, that has not necessarily been their temple. It has not been the place where they get right. So, look, I totally get it, the numbers for the Sharks this season. I have to state that right off the top. All right, I fully understand the reality of where they're at. That being said, there are a couple things that have encouraged me. Like this, the standings right now. Think about San Jose at 31 games in. They've got a couple in hand, and at 30 points. I mean, if you win both these games tonight and tomorrow, as I record this, by the way, these stats are current here as of Friday afternoon. You play these 2 games, win them both, you just leapfrogged Arizona. Now, I can't speak for what LA is doing and how they'll, have a good weekend or not. You could possibly leapfrog both teams in the standings. And then look at you at 34 points. I don't know what St. Louis is doing this weekend. I know it's been up and down for them all season. Goaltending has plagued them this year. All of a sudden, you're really hunting down that 4th and final spot. This is, I get it. Logistically, it's possible to the tune of like a single-digit percent. I think I saw the other day There's a 9% chance that the Sharks could get into that fourth playoff spot, so it's not great. But you see what I'm saying here. Like it's not out of reach as maybe some of our minds have allowed us to think. And it's also not to, discount Arizona can play well, LA can play well. Minnesota has really secured a spot in the top 3, if not top 4. I didn't necessarily know that was going to be the case. They have an unreal home win streak. That's how Minnesota is getting the job done this year. But again, it's just in a season like this, you're not as close maybe as you think sometimes, but you're also not as far away as you think at times. Now on to the individual storylines and some good math, like Logan Couture's scoring pace. The captain wanted to make a statement this year, not just in terms of leadership, but also getting it done on the ice. His 14 goals through 31 games, that puts him on pace for a 25-goal season at the end of 56, which would equate to, if you extrapolate that out to 82 games, that would be a 37-goal season in a regular 82-game schedule. So flirting with 40. That would be the first time that Logan got to this number. It would be his best NHL total if it were 82 games and if he did get to 37. Like, this is his best pace. Now, I'm saying that, and Logan has kind of cooled off lately. Only 1 goal in his last 8 games, and I certainly hope that the hit he took from Jeff Carter the other night isn't going to set him back any further. So I do want to say, of numbers and things that encourage me, like good Sharks math, San Jose's captain is having one of his best scoring seasons of the career, more than a decade into it, and here he is leading by example. So Logan Couture's scoring pace definitely encourages me. Brent Burns has tightened it up defensively. Now, what numbers am I going to use for this? Hang on with me here. First off, his average time on ice per game, 26 minutes and 33 seconds. He actually played a game earlier this year, 30 minutes and 51 seconds, almost 31 minutes in a given night. I think that was against Arizona, very beginning of the year. Correct me if I'm wrong. But his average at 26:33 is the highest and has been pretty much all season in the entire NHL. Drew Doughty is right behind him in average time on ice. But it's also Burnsy's highest career average as minutes go. So let's just dissect that part at first here. The Sharks are realizing that through a season like this, there's some uncertainty, some instabilities. They had a couple injuries on the blue line. They need Brent Burns to be playing the most he's ever played, and that's absolutely happening right now. 26:33. But it's not just how much he's playing. That's part of it. It's also the defensive emphasis, which I think we can all see Burnsy playing with. The offense for him hasn't been as much as frequent this year. That's no doubt. I mean, the stats show it, but what the stats don't necessarily show is the defensive emphasis and the way he's been playing. Now, I put here the -8 rating versus where he ended up last year, a -22. So that in alone is a huge improvement, but think about this. That improvement, plus he's playing several more minutes per night on the regular, and he's not scoring as much. So the plus side of it is not there, right? But he's playing more. That just goes to show you that the minus side, and it has improved greatly, it's the play without the puck for me and Brent Burns. So this one's a little bit harder to equate. I'm using a multitude of different things to try and quantify what the eye is seeing with number 88. And I also feel, and Curtis and I have talked about this, that Brent Burns, might be at an evolution point of his career. And it's not to say that he's not going to try and score every night. Of course he is. Have you seen that shot lately? He is. I mean, absolutely is. But similar to what Joe Thornton went through in the mid-2010s is the shift from everybody knows me as an offensive guy. They know what my calling card is. I'm going to evolve my game in a brand new way. And the Sharks last year and the last couple of years have been struggling with team defense. Part of that's turnovers that put your team from offense onto defense very quick and you're not ready for it. I'm just saying that Brent Burns' game this season has evolved in a great way, and it's not being talked about a lot. I hope it's being noticed, but he has definitely tightened it up quite a bit. And when somebody might point at the stats and say, yeah, but the points and goals and assists are down this year a little bit. Yes, I do agree, but that's because the emphasis on his game is somewhere else. He's playing a ton, and he's also, like I said, tightened it up quite a bit. And then last one to point out here, this might be an unexpected for you considering that Martin Jones had a really rough start to this season. Now, he's played well in his last 4 games. He's allowed 1, 1, 1, and 2 in his last 4 contests and won 3 of those games, including the last here couple in a row. But you can really draw a line in Martin Jones' season. There was a game where he allowed 6 against the LA Kings down at Staples Center. That was his 8th start of the year. Through his first 8 starts, now I got to say also here with Martin Jones, he's got 10 wins. He's 10-6-2. So if we're just looking at results, I know where save percentage has been. I know where goals against has been. But actually getting wins this year is something he's been doing. Drew Remenda always likes to say, what's the best stat? Answer what's the best stat for a goalie? Wins. What do you think, dummy? And there is something to that. But a 5-3-0 record in his first 8 games. The save percentage, yeah, 865, and the goals against, 375. That's what I'm talking about is not complimentary. And in those first 8 games, pulled 3 times. Getting pulled almost half your games is not great. And then that last one was allowing 6 against the Kings. But we are seeing a turn. Now, people are noticing it here in the last 4 starts, but really take a look across his last 11 games. 5-3-2 record. 925 save percentage and a 236 goals against. There you go. He's allowed, I had to bring this up, 2 or fewer 6 of those 11 games. More than half of those 11 starts, he's put his team in a very good spot to win that game. And he's only allowed 5 goals, like I just mentioned, across his last 4 outings. So there you go. Look, I understand. This season hasn't been easy, has not been perfect. A majority of the numbers that would dictate how the Sharks have been doing are not great. The standings are tricky. They are very complicated, very difficult. I know the odds are not great. They're not even good. But that being said, I did want to point out some good Sharks math here from 2021. That does it for this video. Check me out on all the social platforms, Twitter, the Gram, sometimes Facebook, but especially here on YouTube. I mean, come on. If you've watched this video up to this point and you're not subscribing already, like what's going on? What more can I do for you? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll take care of that. All right. But until next time, see you on television tonight and all this weekend, and really appreciate you here on the live stream. Good day.